Hey, howdy people, how's it going? This is a bit of a different video. It's my first non-reaction movie review. I've done some movie stuff, but I'm gonna try to do more of it. I'm gonna try to do some review things of movies that I see in theaters. I might do one in the Minecraft movie because I saw that. And it was not a horrible time, let me tell you. But this one is not the Minecraft movie. This is Warfare. This is a very different movie, and I wanted to talk a little bit about it and my thoughts on it, and if you should see it or not, because it's something. So let's get started. There will be some minor spoilers that I'll kind of talk about in the few sections here in the beginning. Like if you don't really want to know like anything about it and you want to go in super blind, then just know it's very intense, and that's all you need to know. Go have fun. But let's get into this. I'll have a spoiler-ish section later on, so you can avoid those if you don't want to get spoiled. Starting off, it was very well done. It was made very well. I think it was shot very well. There were a lot of really interesting, not just camera work stuff and angles or whatever, but just like the way that things were told. Like we'd see shots from like the perspective of like a sniper rifle, or we'd see like very close up. There were a lot of close up facial shots on people where there was, it felt very claustrophobic and intense because the people are the like squad that we're following here. They're inside this house for the entire hour and a half runtime. And it's like them trying to escape and they're being attacked and whatever. But it's very intense. it's weirdly intense, and it has a lot to do with the way it's shot. It also shows a little bit of like aerial footage, so like upper drones or whatever in the sky. I don't know, there's some things flying around and they're showing some cam footage, but it's mostly just focused on this group of guys. I think they were Navy SEALs. I forgot exactly. There was like a little 2-sentence thing in the beginning of the movie that was like a team of Navy SEAls did whatever, and they went over here in 2006 during the Iraq War. And the story is their memories or something like that. And it just follows this group of dudes for an hour and a half in real time, just straight up like after the first 5 minutes or so of the movie, once they get into the house, which doesn't take long at all. They get into this house, and then it's just like a straight up hour and a half of like, here's what happened with some setup and what happened basically. I'm not going to spoil it here, but like that. And it's not so much really story intensive as it is an experience. You don't really get to know a lot of the dudes. The only people I remember are, what's his name? Joseph Quinn's character, because Joseph Quinn and Will Poulter are in it. And they're the only two actors that I knew, at least just by looking at it. I may have known some of the others, but I don't know them by name. But Joseph Quinn's character, Sam, and Will Poulter's character, who I forgot who he was, but he was in it too. I forgot what his name was. And then there was another dude who had like a mustache, the sniper guy. And the sniper guy had an interesting like personality about him too. And then there was the other seemingly younger guy who was like the comms dude. And so like there were, I don't remember everybody's names, but there were a good number of like people that did things, and you were like, okay, these are their roles. And then there were some people like Will Poulter's character was just kind of there, I feel. But it wasn't really a movie about getting to know the characters and their roles and like what they're doing. It's just experiencing what it would be like to be in this situation. And it was rough. It was rough. I said before, but the most interesting thing about this movie is that it's all in real time. So I'm a stickler for, in movies, if they're like, it's a 5-minute countdown, I'm a stickler for like, I check my watch. Okay, we got 5 minutes. How is this? And then 10 minutes later, there's like 3 minutes left in the countdown and I'm taken out of it. No, this one, they said like, we'll be there in 10 minutes. And I looked at my watch, and then they had like a continuous countdown. Like, we got 6 minutes, we got 3 minutes, we'll be there in 1 minute. It was accurate. It was accurate. And as far as I can tell, it was all in real time. Once they get to the house, and because they get to the house like in the first 2 minutes of the movie and it's nighttime, once they get to the house and it becomes day, it's just all real time. And that's super interesting. Another super interesting part is that there is absolutely no soundtrack to this movie. It is just straight up war sounds the entire time. And again, like a minor spoiler about just the structure of the movie. The entire first half hour of the movie, it's an hour and a half. The full first half hour, nothing happens. It is just straight up building tension. It is trying to just get you in the atmosphere, kind of like get a little bit of an idea of what's going on, but they don't even really tell you much of anything about like the context of what's happening in the war or the people there. It's just them. They're there in Iraq and they're watching some people and kind of observing them and spying on them from this house. And there's just no soundtrack. It's just silence. And you're like locked in the entire time. And then once things start happening and they start fighting, it's only that more intense because there's no soundtrack to accompany it. A lot of the dialogue as well is military speak, and it's a lot of like some code stuff. It's not too hard to understand if you kind of just like know a little bit about war. I mean, as long as you can look and see, and they show like the aerial shots of people and they're like dude walking, and I don't know, but it's not too hard to understand, but it is a lot of military, the way that they talk. And there are a few lines in the beginning of like, hey, like joking lines a little bit, but overall it's just very, very serious. It's a very serious movie. It is not a movie that is overly gory or anything. It doesn't show a lot of, I mean, there's, I would say maybe like 2 or 3 shots that are like, ooh, but it only happens for like little bits of the movie. And it's only like for impact. It doesn't linger too long on anything. So if that's what you're worried about, it's like, it's little shots. I know some people are like squeamish about that stuff with war movies. It's not that kind of movie. However, it is extremely intense because they are basically effectively trapped in this house for an hour and a half, and you're there with them. You are right there in the action, and you don't know anything of what's going on outside. You don't know how they're going to get out. You don't know what's going to happen, how or if they're going to get out. You don't know any of this. And you're there. It's so intense. It is so like I was eyes glued to the screen the entire time. It's so hard to look away because you're just so in it, and you're on the edge of your seat. Like it's so intense. I can't describe it. And the no soundtrack thing and being in real time, that all contributed to that very, very well. I'm about to go into some spoilers here, but before I do, I'll give you a warning, but I'm going to give you kind of my overall thoughts on this. I think this is a really solid, really good, really well directed, really well acted war movie. And it is based on real events. And it shows at the end, it shows like pictures of the real guys and the actors who played them like side by side. It shows some footage of like the actual veterans from that event that happened, like assisting with the directing and stuff to make sure that it's accurate to what happened. So really interesting. But it's a lot. It's very well done, but it's extremely intense, and you will be like, your heart rate is going a million miles an hour and on the edge of your seat for like an hour and a half straight. It's a lot. Like every single gunshot and explosion, like I saw it in IMAX. So every single gunshot explosion, the theater was shaking. Like my chair was like, I thought I was going to go deaf in the theater. Like it was so loud. but it's meant to be like that, and it's meant to be an experience. And it just, at the end of the movie, you're just left with a feeling of like, man, like, wow, this sucks, dude. Like, this is horrible. Like, you're just left with a feeling of dread at the end of it all. But it's so well done though. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you, I highly recommend you go watch it. It's very well done. Don't expect it to be very like entertaining. It's more so just like an experience. They throw you in the middle of this war and you just experience it for an hour and a half, and it's something. It's something, I'll tell you. All right, let's get into spoilers a little bit. So big old spoiler warning. Oh my goodness. The IED. When the IED first went off, I about jumped out of my seat, because they leave the house, they're on their way to the tank, they're almost out, bam, massive explosion out of nowhere. I jumped. And then the way that it lingers, and it lets the dust settle. It lets you experience, I mean, because it's all in real time. It lets you experience like what these soldiers are experiencing as they wake up from being knocked out or whatever, and they find like, you know, their legs are torn to shreds, or like they look over and see their companion and he's just a torso, and then like there's his arm over there, there's his leg over there. It's like, oh my goodness, that's one of the most intense scenes I've ever seen in a movie just from pure like shock factor. And then from then out, it's just straight up just, oh. I mean, if you're in the spoiler section, you either don't care or you have seen the movie already. Man, just the entire next hour after that IED goes off is insane. Well, really, at like the half-hour mark is like when the grenade gets thrown in the sniper window, and that kind of starts things. But no one gets really like seriously injured from that. I mean, sniper dude, whatever his name was, I forgot. Dude with the mustache. He had like his arm was hurt or something or injured, but like nothing serious happened. But then that IED happened, and like the dude, like sniper dude, his legs are gone, his legs are shredded. And then like they're sitting there, they're trying to like comms dude, his hands are shaking, trying to like pull the belt on to make the tourniquet, and he can't do it. And he's sitting there and he's like putting pressure on the leg, and like Joseph Quinn's character is like screaming. Oh my goodness, it is so intense. And like, it's so well done, dude. It's extremely well done. It's extremely well acted and directed, but it's a lot. They don't give you a moment to breathe because these guys did not get a moment to breathe. And they're sitting there and the military chatter's going. And just like, I think my favorite part of the movie, besides the IED going off and just like all hell breaking loose after that, I think my favorite part of the movie was when I think it was comms dude. When comms dude was like, he's trying to put the tourniquet on or something, and he's like pushing on Joseph Quinn character's leg, and like everything's just kind of happening, and then the comms are in his ear and they're just going and going, they're louder, and you're just sitting there like, oh my goodness, and the comms are just overwhelming, and it like gets to the point where it's like almost deafening, then he rips it out. Oh, even just talking about this movie, like you get on edge just thinking about it, just talking about it. But man, it's a really good movie, but it's not something that I would buy on Blu-ray and watch a bunch and be like, yeah, let's go watch Warfare. Like, no, this is the type of movie that is an experience, and it's a brutal one. When they finally got everybody into the tanks safely, I expected more of them to die, honestly. But when they got them into the tanks and then rolled them out, and you just see like the Iraqi family come out from where they were being held hostage for the past day, and they're just like, everything's fine. We're fine. We're okay now. We're okay. They're gone. And then like all the rest of the Iraqi soldiers come out, and they just kind of like come out in the street, and they're like, I guess they're gone. And then the movie just ends. Like, man, it is. It's just like, yeah, this is what war was and still is. But you know, this is what this war was to these people at this time in 2006. It's not something that you want to experience. But if you want to experience it from the safety of a theater, go see this movie. Because man, that's something. All right. Well, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you thought of the movie if you've seen it, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you later. Goodbye.